is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And we are in for an amazing morning. Again, it just gets better every day. I hope you're going to enjoy joining me with either your smoothie or your fresh, good water with you so you can really take this energy in, really integrate it well. If you enjoy the messages that you experience through this channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and click the notification bell so that you'll get a notification whenever we go live here on YouTube. Now, I'm going to also be sharing this out, so please take a moment to share this video out to anybody you know. Hi, good morning, Betsy. Good morning. Good morning, Allison. I'm really excited about today. I've got Hermes with me and Master Jesus, and it's called Thy Rod and Thy Staff. And I got to tell you, we're in for a real treat today. So please take a moment to share this video out, bring other people on board. They're going to want to hear this. It's really important. To understand the meaning of what thy rod and thy staff is. Many people think that it's a literal rod and staff, something that you hold in your hand, but it's not. It's something that's far more profound than that and ridiculously simple at the same time. The place where they started me out this morning was a simple statement. And the statement was, only in the present moment can you know and be and do. Only in the present moment can you know and be and do. And that's a pretty profound statement. I said, well, okay, so if I'm in the present moment, then I'll always know what to be and do. And they said, yes, that's exactly true. And I said, what else should I know? And they said, it's important you understand the past and your future are a distraction. Your past and your future are a distraction that do not serve you in fulfilling what you came here to fulfill. Yeah. So we get into this more. Again, when as a medium, you're allowing information to flow through. You're connecting to specific dimensions and degrees of consciousness and intelligence. And you have some degree of an ability to be able to work with them. You can decide who is and who is not going to communicate with you. And that can be partially determined by the quality of your vibration, which is why you often hear us talking about making sure you eat good, vibrant, healthy foods, drinking good, clean water, keeping your body properly hydrated, going out and grounding, really fundamental things, getting lots of sunshine, fresh air, meditation, key things to establishing a vibrational frequency in your body, right? They're key things to establishing a constant frequency in your body that's in resonance with higher energy beings, right? So it's important to get your body tuned in to higher frequencies of being. A lot of people have their bodies tuned in to lower frequencies of energy like fear and anger and guilt and shame and condemnation and criticism, fault finding. And at those levels, most people live and die their whole lives suffering. But I'm going to let them come forward. So anyway, Hermes, while I was doing dishes this morning, said, you have to go right now, turn the sink off, turn the water off, go sit down and meditate for 7 minutes. So I went and I came out and I sat down and began to meditate for 7 minutes. And as I moved in the present moment, he said, now the rod and the staff, you must understand what thy rod and thy staff is. It is not something that you carry in your hand. Thy rod and thy staff is built into your body. It's an energy system. It is an energy system that one must learn to utilize and harness. So he had me breathe energy up. He said, the lower vibrational energies of matter, of the physical world, the lower vibrational energies need to be brought up the shaft of the staff. And the shaft is literally, starts with the feet, comes up the feet, and then goes up the spine. The spine is the main body of the staff. And you literally draw energy up through the staff, up the spine. And he said, keep breathing it up, breathing it up, breathing it up, till you get it up until you reach the top of the staff, which he said is the pineal gland, what we call the pineal gland. it sits at the top. And he says the wings on the staff are when you are enlightened with wisdom and the knowledge that come down through. So you bring energy up, you access the vibrational frequency here, and you bring energy through. And the wings on the staff are the wisdom and the inspiration that you acquire when you are in alignment with these energies of a higher quality of frequency. And he kept emphasizing, do not let your past and future distract you from the present moment, because it is in the present moment that all that you seek will liberate you. And what's really funny, because Master Jesus was saying along with him, he's saying, the statement, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, is a very powerful statement. He said, tell people they must know that the rod and the staff is the energy through which they connect to the divine within them. You cannot connect to the divine without until you connect to the divine within, for the divine is within all that is. And when you connect to it within yourself, you will recognize it in others, for you will always recognize that which you are, and you will always recognize that which you are not. And this was really fascinating. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. And as I went into that, and it's true, so as I'm breathing the energy up and I'm aligning myself, and they're standing on either side of me while I'm going through this process, and they're literally just saying, now feel what happens. And I got to tell you, this rush of energy came down into my body. Literally just rushed down into my body. I was like, wow. And I could literally feel the love of the Creator flowing in, because I was no longer attached exclusively to the body. They say this is a big problem that humanity is facing right now, but also a great opportunity has unfolded for each and every one of you to turn your attention to aligning yourself to your creation source. Your creation source. It is the creation source that you can connect to only in this moment, for your past and your future will distract you from it. And many of you are very distracted by your past and your future. And it is time to become undistracted in the presence of the now, in the presence of being now, here and now, in alignment energetically with the creation source, to allow your creation source to flow into you, and allow yourself to integrate that energy into your body. Most of you are so entrapped in trying to integrate energy through the senses of pleasure, things with food and things with drink and things with these things that stimulate your senses. And this further distracts you and further separates you from the creation source that is already within you, that will give you far more pleasure and joy than anything of this earth. And you could bestow onto this earth great joy and great pleasure with your love and your light, which you came here to do. You came here to do this. And many of us have come here to aid you in that process. And now you find yourselves thinking that you're isolated and separated from each other. And yet within you is infinite intelligence with its arms and ears open to you. And you need to merely go within, bring yourself up to it, and then allow it to come down to you. There is no time to waste. There's none to waste at all, especially if you are in the present moment. You will waste nothing. If you are distracted by your past and distracted by your future, you will waste many, many years and many, many lifetimes. It is unnecessary, this waste. And, it's interesting. So this rod and staff, and we've heard about it, and Hermes has come to me before on a number of other occasions and talked about the emerald tablets of Thoth and the meaning of those things and why those things are really important to understand, that this is all about as above, so below, as within, so without. And really, this body is simply an instrument that we express through. It really, really is. They're saying so many people waste time thinking they're going to get more from this body than this body can give. Your body has great limits in terms of what it will allow, what it can allow you on its own. You You, on the other hand, may modify its capabilities so that you can express far more through it creatively. There are some among you that get this free flow of information and knowledge available to you at all times, as this one does. And there are many of you like this, and you create many things. You think these things you see in this human world, these rocket ships and these computers and these things that you have, you think they came from the world? No, they came from within you, inspired by the creation source. They came from within you, inspired by the creation source. And you think, oh, this is my idea. But you were inspired. And when you recognize that you are inspired and you turn to that source of inspiration and say, thank you, you will be inspired more. And if you are delighting in the inspiration given to you by the creation source, you will be given more. It will be given unto you for the asking. So all that is in your world is originating from within you. And now you have to go to this source, which is far more expanded in this present moment than you are, and learn very gently and mindfully and presently to hear, to be and to do in this present moment. To hear and to be and to do in this present moment. Yeah. You know, for me, it was, they keep laughing at me because they actually, this concept of being in the present moment, that is the only place that we can actually do or create anything new is from the present moment. And I keep thinking, yeah, but don't I need my past knowledge to know about what I'm going to create now? And this is no. In the present moment, if you are aware in the present moment, you'll always know what to do. You'll always know when things need to be moved. You'll always know when to speak and when not to speak. You'll always know what to do in the present moment if you are truly in it, undistracted by your past or undistracted by your future. So in your times of what you call isolation, we encourage you to go within, to bring the energy from your body, upwards, bring it up, breathe that energy upwards to the temple, to the eye of the temple. Bring your energy up to the eye of the temple. And in the eye, you can see. And you will see, and you will feel, and you will know in the eye. Yeah, I'm just asking the eye. I'm just asking what the eye is. The eye is a specific location in the body called the pineal gland. And it is literally an energy antenna. It's an antenna in your body that allows you to perceive and experience information beyond the physical senses. The pineal gland allows you to perceive and know beyond the physical senses. And every human body has this organ in it. It is a fairly new organ, and it has to be consciously and deliberately developed. Breathing, there are breathing techniques you can learn from the Eastern mystics. There are breathing techniques you can learn from other mentors like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden. There's a range of other beings on the planet that are also teaching how to utilize the energy of the rod and the staff. What's really cool, when they were showing me how the energy comes up, and I could feel it coming up through leg, it really is through one leg comes the male, up one leg comes the male energy, up the other leg comes the female energy, and they literally come into the sacrum and spin around the spine in opposite directions. So doing this up the spine. And it literally is like a serpent going around the spine, and it goes just above where the wings on the staff are to the point where the pineal gland is, and that energy comes up and it literally kisses the male and female energy literally kiss on either side of the pineal gland where they unify. And when those energies unify there, they stimulate the pineal gland to become electrically charged. And when the pineal gland is electrically charged, it changes its frequency. It begins to stimulate things like DMT in your body. The production of it increases the production of DMT in your body. So those of you that are learn how to access this energy will have mystical experiences because you're actually accessing information and energy beyond the physical realm. And that becomes very exciting when you begin to explore that reality. Anyway, I got them with me. They're really excited to take some questions and answers today about what we have spoken on, so you understand that you understand You must use the time available to you to awaken this. Yeah, one of the key things of this awakening, learning to access these other dimensions, is we can then change and modify frequency in time space. And why is that so important? Why is it so important to be able to modify frequencies in time space from a human perspective? We do this electronically with our devices, but there's a relationship that you have as a soul, as an energy, with time and space that's different than the relationship our television, our technology have with time space. You are multidimensional in nature. All of us are. We're all multidimensional in nature. And there are changes coming to the planet right now. They're happening right this moment. A lot of physiological changes. There is a huge flow of electrical energy coming through the galaxy now from the galactic center. And it happens every 12,000 years. And in the last 72,000 years, this has happened multiple times. And we've had literally global resets and extinction level events because humans have not gotten to the place where they've learned how to work with the frequencies of energy at a higher wavelength, so they can change the electrical interaction between our planet, our solar system, and this galactic flow of energy. We have not learned how to integrate it or transmute it. So we've got to learn to change the polarity of our collective energy as a species so that we produce and emit a different electrical charge from this planet. And it's that invisible electromagnetic charge that will interact with the incoming potential so we don't have to go through another planetary reset again, right? And the new Earth is something we co-create collectively. A new Earth is something we co-create collectively. Yes, I understand. And so in learning to harmonize yourself with higher frequencies, particularly the frequency that we call love, which is literally a life-based energy. It literally creates more life. Love as energy creates more life. It doesn't take life, it creates more. And we've been so entrenched in our bodies as a species. They tell me that this is one of the reasons why the planet is literally having so much problems right now. The fish are getting very low in population. A lot of change because we've gotten so based in consuming, we've forgotten the process of giving and caretaking, which is what love is. And in order to prevent a reset, we need to shift ourselves from being consumers to being creators, from being instinctual to being divine. Literally, we have to learn that process. It's not something that's just going to happen. We have to learn it. And unfortunately, they don't teach children in schools how to connect to the divine source with them. They distract them. They get them caught up in thinking, feeling, believing a certain way. So there's no significant educational impetus right now to teach children how to harmonize to the divine source and generate a positive field of love in the world. But we have to do that. We, the light workers that are awake and aware, are here to do this. All of you that are here are part of that paradigm of literally learning to access this frequency of love, bringing it down into time space, letting it govern your thoughts and actions, and then creating massive changes in the electromagnetic constant that we generate as a collective here on the planet and in the solar system. You can take two magnets. If you put the opposite poles together, they'll repel each other. Well, we got this huge wave of galactic energy. Well, we need to generate a frequency that's either going to repel it or transmute it so that we integrate it. A lot of these increased gamma radiation and increased X-ray stuff from the sun. These are not simply rays that are designed to cause us physical problems. They are meant to be integrated energetically to alter our DNA to raise us up in consciousness. But if we're at a lower vibrational frequency of fear and anger and guilt and shame, then that energy can be harmful to that lower potential. It will transmute it. Anyway, enough. Thank you. So we'll go into some questions and answers right now. Hello from South Africa. Good to see you. Just go over here. Wonderful. Question from Mara. Will we feel when our pineal gland activates, or do we just feel a connection? I'm grateful for this message. Thank you. Great question, Mara. You will actually feel it. You will know it because the very first time, it was about 2 years ago, when a divine collective first came to me, and they had me meditate, they had me sit down and meditate, and had me do the breathing, and all of a sudden I literally saw the energy come up through my legs, the male and female energy. Watched it come up, and I watched the serpents move around the spine and brought my energy up here. And at that point, when I felt it up there, I was literally unaware that I was holding my breath probably for a very extended period of time. And then when I released my breath, there was this release of energy. It just literally washed down over the body. It's like washed down and through it, just like this. If you can see little sparkles of light, it was kind of felt like that. Many of you have experienced that sensation of somebody says a profound truth and you feel this shiver go through your body. It's kind of like that. So when you start stimulating the pineal gland and it starts to become active, not only will you start to get sensations in your body differently, but you'll also begin to open up your other clairs. So that becomes really exciting when you start to hear, because I had that day was a pretty amazing day. I had a reptilian being come to me and he said to the group, he said, he's not ready to see me, right? And I said, I'm ready to see you. And he said, no, you're not ready to see me. And I said, I am. And he showed his face to me for a second and I was like startled, right? And then he disappeared again. He said, see, he's not ready. You need to train your mind to be quiet and still, non-judgmental. At that moment in time and space, I had a judgment about that being, right? So releasing yourself from non-judgment. But once you can activate your pineal gland, you'll start to elevate your energy up, because then you start to bring energy, higher frequency energies into the body. And that will begin to change your physiology too. Cool. Great question. Thank you, Mara. Hi, guys. Yeah, you're telling me to tell you, stop wasting time with your past and future. It is important. It is important that you align yourself to your creation source. Someone's asking, is my pineal gland calcified or being tampered with or blocked in some way? They're saying, although there are things in this world that can inhibit or impair its function, there is nothing in this world that can stop it if you assert your intelligent awareness onto this. Many of you talk about your pineal glands being calcified. Well, this calcification is simply like a coating over it, that if you can cause the pineal gland to begin to react, you can dissolve that coating quite rapidly. You may simply draw a breath up. You may tighten the pressure in this brain. You may apply, by holding your breath, you may apply pressure on your pineal gland enough so that when you release your breath, you can cause the pineal gland to move and pulse with your breath, holding and releasing, holding and releasing, holding and releasing, and breaking down that covering so that the pineal gland begins to release its functional energy into your biology. But you can experience this very easily simply by holding your breath and tightening your chest and allowing the pressure in your head to build slightly, and to hold that for 5 or 7 seconds, and then to release that and then feel the energy that happens in your brain. And then to repeat that process, to stimulate, to work that muscle, to work that organ, so that the eye opens, The eye opens when you blink. Thank you. Question from Daniel. Good morning. Oh. Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, there's amazing things to see. Question from Tina. Is today's topic the same as Kundalini energy? Yes. They say this is very similar in nature. The overall result is the same. The overall result is the same. You are here to elevate your awareness from being subjective to matter to being creative over it. You are here to end your subjectivity to matter and become creative over it. And it is only through these higher frequencies of energy and awareness that you can induce changes in matter by will and by choice. Even physical conditions in your body that are undesirable can be changed when you understand your capability to alter and change the frequency of the energy that exists in matter. As a condition, as an experience, you, as awareness, are capable of adjusting the frequency of matter. You do so when you go into a state of joy, although you are not aware that you are the one that's creating that frequency. But every time you go into a state of joy, you are adjusting the frequency of the matter in your body and in the matter of your cells. And if you go into a state of sadness, you are adjusting the frequency in the matter of your cells. You can adjust your frequency at will. The challenge that many of you have is being unwilling to stay with a practice long enough to gain the result that would let you know, oh, I can cure any disease by altering the frequency of my energy. Altering the frequency of the energy of that condition. You can do that. If we were to ask you to smile and jump up and down, you would change your energy. You would alter the frequency of this biology, and it would take your will to activate this energy. The energy will not activate itself. Organically, your body is very set limits in terms of what it can or cannot do for itself, whereas you do not have those limits that your body do. Wow. Hi, Betsy. Question from Betsy. Is it enough to be a light in the world, or are we being requested to actively promote these ideals? If you are not speaking, nobody will hear you. If you're not shining, no one will see your light. It is a choice of will and reason and intelligence that you would send your information out to others. We have assisted some of you to manifest these things called technology to bring you all closer together in alignment, in unity, with the hope that you recognize your responsibility of manifesting conditions in time and space that are more suitable to the evolution of each and every one of you. And so you've created conditions that are not so suitable to the evolution of every one of you, in the hopes that your suffering will liberate you from your suffering. We shall see, though, how you do. These next few years on your planet shall prove very interesting. Yes, I understand. Question from Six String. What specific role will I have in the new earth, and is there one specific guide that I should contact? Oh, good question. The specificity of your role can only be understood and defined by the level of awareness that you cultivate in relation to who you are, rather than to who and what you think you are. The past and future, as we have said earlier, are distractions for many of you, and so you remain disconnected from the creative power of now, the creation source that is now. And the question you are asking is, what is my role in this? Well, the role is your full potential living in the present moment. If you can truly be in the present moment, you would know, even now, are you to listen? Are you to go? Are you to call? You will know in the moment what you are here to do. But many of you are wondering what I should do, or what should I do based on what was before, and you were distracted. But right now, we had this one running around his home doing many things to show him clearly that there's always something in the present moment that can be done that you are capable of seeing. There is a level of order in time and space that you can bring forth as awakened beings that does not currently exist in fullness on this planet. So start with being in the present moment and recognizing what needs to be done. Is your space pleasing to you? Do you keep your body and mind healthy and happy? Have you taken care of these fundamentals? How do you treat your body? Many of you mistreat your bodies. Many of you, in fact, ignore your bodies. Many of you want to deny that you even have a body, but it is part of your mechanism for manifesting your creative process here. Will you do this? Will you get off your past, get off your future, and get on to the present moment? Honor the temple of the living God. Honor the space, the home in which you live. But many of you do not. You are so busy consuming to try and find the pleasure you think you lack in this world, when simply within you is the greatest pleasure of all time, the limitless love of an infinite creation source that beats your heart for you in every moment. And most of you ignore it, even though it is there. But it will not be ignored. It will always be heard in one way or another. The choice is whether or not you want to hear it by choice or by default. And suffering is the result of ignorance. Suffering is a result of ignorance. Wow. Thank you so much. Great question. Question from Jana. I feel tingling sensation in my mouth, behind and down the teeth, in the middle. Is it to do with the pineal gland? Thank you. They're saying you are activating a higher center of awareness. Things that will be spoken. And if you cannot speak them, you may write them. but from the sensation of the tingling, from your sensation of the tingling, contained within that wondrous sensation is the information that you can speak or write. It is in the sensation of that, not in the physical experience of that. The sensation of the energy of that contains the information that you can speak or write. Wow. Thank you, Jana. Wow. Wow. Good for you, Mary. Glad to see that. I can see some of you are already beginning to apply what they've been saying here. It is so important. Within us all is an infinite intelligence, an infinite loving intelligence that made sure that your heart beats for you, that your food is digested. It's a wondrous, wondrous thing. Okay, I will come back. They want me to come back to the staff. The statement, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Yeah, he wants me to clarify. Master Jesus wants me to clarify. Thy rod and thy staff is when you align yourself to your creation source, to what many of you call God the Father. You align yourself consciously and deliberately to it. And in that alignment to it, thy rod, the flow of energy, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They will comfort you. When you are in alignment, you will experience that comfort. When you are in alignment, through thy rod and thy staff, as above, so below. Can we be more clear about that? Yeah, saying, okay, so as above, so when you bring your energy up and you start to align to this higher frequency up here, as above, you bring it down. When it starts to come down, so below. Then that energy, that inspiration, that guidance you start to get from creation source begins to organize the world. What you think, what you say, what you do becomes organized from a different frequency of consciousness. And so as above, so below. And some say, as below, so above. No. Below does not control above. Above controls below. But many of you are stuck in this thing you call below, in your bodies, as the sole locus of your identities. You are entrapped in your pasts and in your futures. And so you cannot live from the present that is far more fulfilling in its essence, far more precise in its actions, more deeply compassionate and loving than any other point of time or space. Thank you. Green smoothies. They're awesome for your body. Thank you for that. Yes. Yes. Well, God is always listening. And remember, there are creations. We all come here. Okay, I will. You must understand. He's saying you must understand that the acts of men are not the acts of God. Although the acts of men are allowed by the grace of God. And when men cease to aggrandize themselves in their own eyes and seek to be recognized by that divine within through their actions, through the love of their actions, then God will shine on them too. These dear little ones that came into this world as love to offer love to you, the starvation, the suffering that you see among the children and many others is in effect a clear reflection of the loveless state that many of you exist in. And you were given the opportunity to recall, reanimate, bring back into flesh this love. And there is a process underway right now to afford you all the opportunity to do this. Do not allow fear to govern your thought or action. This is the greatest sin, to allow your fears to govern your thoughts or actions. And all evil proceeds from that error. All evil proceeds from that error. Wow. Question from Kelly. Who is blocking my third eye? When will I be able to see what I need to see? Anticipation is what they're saying to me. Anticipation gets in the way of the present moment. You're anticipating. You're not in the present moment. They're saying it's happening to you right now. They're saying the nature of your question in this moment reveals clearly to us that you are still looking forward to that which is now. And what we would simply offer to you at this time is simply this: to breathe and feel the life that you bring into you. And then ask a simple question: how may I give the bliss of this life to others? Simply breathe gratitude of the life that comes within you. And how then may you give that gratitude, that life to others? And you will have your answer when you give the joy of your breath. The joy of your breath will give rise to great thought, great inspiration, more than the memory of your past or the anticipation of your future. As we have said, many of you are distracted by your past and by the future, but it is only in this moment that you can know that which you seek, which is this bliss, which is this inspiration. It is happening right now for you. Breathe and feel it. Breathe. Be inspired. Life is seeking in every moment to offer its endless inspiration to all of you. Cool. Thank you. Question from Victorious. What was the blinding white light I saw in my room last night? Is there a message? Yeah, they're saying, remember not the phenomena of the light, but remember the vibration of its energy. You have it even now. You may repose yourself in this moment and recall not the event, but the sensation that the event offered you, the information that was offered to you, that in your uncertainty and surprise, you shielded yourself from receiving. Allow yourself in this moment to remember that moment now, as now, to remember as now that vibration, and feel its inspiration to you, Thank you, Victorious. Question from Danielle. I often see a large benevolent eye during my meditation. It lovingly looks at me. This is your higher self. This is your higher self. Okay, and it's saying when we see eye to eye, allow the union to occur. Allow the union to occur. Can you be more specific? In her observation of who I am, she can maintain separateness. In the moment of observation, to release the observation and to feel our joining, to release her attachment to the representation that her mind is giving her of what I am and what she is, to allow the sensation of what we are to join in that moment. Yes, she can do this in her next meditation. Yes. Okay. So in your next meditation, when you perceive that eye, drop the perception and feel the energy, feel the connection, the feeling you have with it, and try. I'm trying to find words because they're saying it's not about even and it. It's about just moving into the energy of it, becoming one with it, not seeing it as something you observe or something that's observing, but to experience the energy of that moment as an energy. That's the only way that I can translate the concept of oneness that will occur for you as an experience when you allow that. And when you do, please, anybody who's gotten experiences from what's happening today, remember to leave a comment in this video after it's been posted up on my YouTube channel. Wow, this is really cool today, guys. Question from Heidi. Whenever I think or talk of God, I feel my I am presence within. Am I in alignment at these times? And how can I bring more energy and love through? Allowing. In those moments of allowing, you may simply repose yourself. You may simply repose yourself in reception of this and allow the energy of that when you open your eyes and return yourself to this moment to allow that energy to guide your actions, your words, and your thoughts. Allow it to speak through you. Allow it to walk through you. Allow it to be through you. That's pretty cool. Well, that's really interesting. I have not... oh, there it is. Question from Tanya. Still struggling with my root chakra. It is so active, it brings my heartbeat up at times. I breathe upwards, move a lot. Still, it almost hurts at times. What else can I do? Okay, Tanya, they're telling me right now, they're showing me that if you had a tangerine in your hand and you could just squeeze it, you need to squeeze, tighten the lower muscles, your sphincter muscles. You want to tighten the muscles around your sphincter, tighten them as tight as you can, and then breathe up. This will liberate, this will apply pressure, because the sacrum is actually a pump, a cerebral spinal pump, that you can actually move. And when you move that by applying pressure to it, by tightening those muscles, you cause it to move. And you can do it right now. Just tighten and loosen those muscles down there and feel what happens in that root chakra. When you tighten and loosen and tighten and loosen, tighten and loosen. I get a rush of energy coming up every time I do that. And you need to learn to move the energy up, because it will not come up on its own. You have to use the body in very specific and precise ways to get energy to move differently through it. Right? So try that right now, Tanya. Right now. Like literally tighten those muscles, breathe up, loosen, tighten those muscles, breathe up. You'll feel an immediate shift. You're already feeling it, I can tell. And so can they. They're laughing at me. They're saying you're in for some fun. Don't be surprised about what happens. Yeah. They're saying to me that some people have been known to have orgasms when they liberate that energy. They're saying right now what you call orgasms, but it's literally a massive Kundalini awakening of being liberated. But that can happen for some people. Thank you for your question, Tanya. Question from Tina. Often when I'm meditating and breathing into my pineal gland and third eye are the sounds I hear, the walls and windows popping and snapping energy of my guide. Yes, absolutely. When you start accessing higher frequencies of energy and you start bringing it in, it's going to alter time and space around you, literally. I mean, we can see that on a biological level. When you go, woohoo, and you get really excited about something, and you're really charged up about it, and people around you start to have that happen. They start to get excited. They all look and they smile and they react to that energy that you project through the body. The same thing is true for these higher frequencies of energy. When you start to bring them through and allow them into your physical architecture and let them flow out into time space, they're going to interact with time space and begin to organize experiences for you. It's an amazing thing. Energy organizes matter. You've heard me many times say, my guardian angel John said to me a couple years back, William, energy, emotion, is the fifth state of energy. Emotion is the fifth state of energy. And it governs solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. Emotion is the fifth state, and it governs all matter below it. And once you learn how to use emotional energy, you can alter time space very differently than most people can. And it takes practice. Master Jesus and Hermes, these guys are masters of energy. That's why they don't need physical bodies anymore. They master energy. And now they're expanding into dimensional realities and a different level of creation than you or I are at while we're in these physical forms. But they're saying if you learn to master energy while you're in the flesh, you'll understand that when the flesh ceases to exist, that your existence continues, because you'll cultivate an awareness that does not localize you simply to your physical body as being the sole source of your identity. You liberate yourself from matter. Oh, they're also saying to me the reason that most people don't come back when somebody, a lot of people, yes, I will say that, just a second. That, okay, water too, eh? When you leave that body, when I leave this body, William, the William being in this body as William, will no longer exist. Who I am will exist. And there will be no need for me to repeat being William again, any more than there will be any need for you to repeat who you are being right now, because you'll have gone through what you need to have gone through. And when you leave, you'll take the knowledge. You'll take the knowledge, the wisdom, and the experience with you that you've acquired from the mechanism you're in. And you may reincarnate again, and you may move to another planetary system, you may go to another dimension. I don't know, but I know that you do not need to come back as you think you are, although you can tap into that energy of who you were. Somebody can tap into the energy of who you were just by willingly communicating with your essence. It's really fun, fascinating. Oh, you're welcome, Victorious. Question from Desiree. Is there a message for me today? Desiree, they're showing me, if you've ever seen Rodin's The Thinker. Rodin's The Thinker. Sitting upon a rock. There is a big rock that you need to go and sit on. They say you know where the rock is. Go to the rock and sit on it. Sit on it gently. Ground your root chakra through this rock. And think upon the energy that comes from above and below. Bring your attention to it. And in there you will have your answer to your question. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's so cool. Wow, it's amazing how fast time goes here, guys. You're welcome, Desiree. And again, there's a huge lag for those of you that are watching right now. There's a huge lag between what you're watching now and what's happened before for others. But I want to say, I love what I get to do. I love what we're all here to do. We are here literally to master our creative process, to understand our relationship to creation source, to be able to use our knowledge of that relationship to deliberately and consciously alter matter in such a way to have it reflect and represent the true nature of what we are as closely as we can. Nature does this naturally. Nature naturally represents a dynamic co-creative process. Without humans on the planet, this planet ran itself. The interaction of itself with itself was dynamic and harmonious and beautiful. And we came here as human beings to master that process as well. We came here to master that process as well. Hello, Animal. Question from Animal. Would practicing Stoicism like Diogenes as well as content creator be effective to overcome fear of the opinion of others? I want to liberate this fear. The quickest way to liberate yourself from fear is not about a process of others. It's the recognition of your interaction with that energy from the perspective that you can transform or alter the frequency of any energy. So when fear comes to you, whether it is fear from within or fear from without, your ability to interact with it consciously in that moment to transform it from a frequency of love. We gave this one a statement. The statement is very simple. When he perceives fear, he's had to learn it the hard way to understand that when there's fear, to simply make a statement internally. I'm willing to love you even if I do not understand you. I'm willing to love you even if I do not understand you. You do not need to verbalize this. You need to think this with great sincerity, and you will find your fear transform like butter melted in your hands It is important you understand that the nature of your awareness is love, and that when you extend that nature to all things, it transforms them into the image and likeness of what it is, which is love. You are love. It is what you are. And so when you extend love to your fear, I'm willing to love you even if I do not understand you, you will feel it transform, even if only a little bit. For we know that some of you have much fear that you harbor, much sadness you harbor, much anger you harbor, and yet these are simply energies that you call anger and fear and sadness. And you as awareness are love. And when you extend your love to them, they change. Much the same way as if you are in your pain and someone came up and loved you, you would feel better. Well, you may do this with your own energy. You may feel your sadness and your anger or your anxiety and give them love. So very simply, dear one, do this. When you are aware of that fear within yourself or in others, simply, I'm willing to love you even if I do not understand you. Understand, you can transform any vibration. You can do this. You can do this. Question from Fardiba. I was meditating and an Eastern lady in a red robe came through. Who was it and what is her message? Please and thank you. Oh, wow. She's saying, I don't know why she's saying, she's saying it is important to look to the light of the East. To look to the light of the East. And in there rest quietly in the light of the East. Wow. Yes. I don't know what that means for you, but in letting her to communicate that to you, let yourself rest. I don't know. Let yourself rest in the light of the East. I do not know the meaning of those words, but I know what I'm feeling inside as a result of feeling those words from her to you. And I hope that you can sense the vibration of that message to you. Because understand that ultimately the vibrational information that's communicated is more important than the meaning and language of the words. Yes, turn your attention to the light of the East. Wow. I thank you so much. Thank you for that question. Question from Ruby. Is what I am seeing in my visions an illusion or possibility that I am manifesting? I feel both. Yes, Ruby, this is a great question. Very great question. There is going to be an ambiguity that all of us go through. There is what you've been trained to think is true and false, and what you know is true and false. There are two levels here. There's the level of mind and there's the level of soul. On the level of mind, there's a reality that we've been conditioned about what gravity is, about up, down, good, bad, right, wrong. That's what we've been trained. And then there's this other self that we are that is not local to body, mind, that transcends it, that you are a transcendent being and can then therefore perceive realities way beyond what the average person can. I mean, people have created things like LSD and drugs to stimulate changes in state of being. But we already know, and they tell me all the time, you can alter the chemicals in your body to access these higher states that exist at all times, in all points of existence. You simply do not know how to adjust your perception. And so, yes, both of those things are true. One can become the truth and the other will become false. That which was true can become false, and that which is false can become true. Please understand this. When you surrender the lie of your existence, you'll know the truth of your being. And in the truth of your being, you will find the freedom of what you are. Truly, truly. You are not who you think you are. You are what you choose to think. And you are free in this regard. Wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate that question, Ruby. No, this is she's Oriental, not Japanese. She's Oriental, not Japanese. But she also has roots in the Middle East. She also has roots. She's not one or the other. This is like this is one that has journeyed through many of the great masters throughout Asia and the Middle East. She says she still exists in real time, but she came to you at your request. She came to you at your request to open the gate. She came to you at your request to open the gate. Again, I'm not sure what that means, but she says she will come again. When you look to the east, yes, the gate will open. Wow, thank you so much. Yes, thank you for that, SJK. You're welcome. Oh, you're so welcome. Guys, this has been an amazing morning. I want to thank Master Jesus and Hermes. I mean, when he came in, Hermes came in and said, sit down. And you have to meditate for 7 minutes. And they started talking to me and letting me flow up that information and download the information. You are not alone. None of you are alone, ever. Learning to hear, learning to see without eyes, learning to hear without ears is really important. It's a skill. Those are non-physical senses: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. And science has not quite learned how to measure emotional fields in time-space. They're just beginning to bridge onto that. But when they can start to recognize thought waves and emotional waves, how they leave the body, they leave in concentric spheres, it's going to revolutionize. It's going to open up a branch of science to the mystical. And there's people like Joe Dispenza who are doing that right now. Thank you. You're very welcome. So I want to thank everybody for coming by today. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's bring the subscribers, or number of subscribers. We need to get this information to more and more people so people can get liberated. The light worker community needs to reach out to people that are on the edge of waking up. There's 1 billion people right now energetically being stimulated to awaken. And it's important to reach them. So remember to share this video with others, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, refer others to it, especially people who are struggling with emotion and don't realize that the emotion is just energy. It's not who they are. Your pain and your suffering is not who you are. It's energy you have. People, it is time to become free of all suffering. Nobody was meant to suffer on this dimension. We came here in love. We all came here in love. Anyway, please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to support this work, thank you, by the way, for the super chats. Other ways you can support this work is through my Patreon page. You can become a Patreon member, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. Also, if you want to learn how to become more attuned to your guides and angels, how to become a better medium, or you just want to learn to release old emotional garbage, you might want to consider coming up and taking our Mediumship 102 course, which starts in just another week and a half on March the 4th. So anyway, I welcome all of you to come and join us. March the 6th. I welcome all of you to come and join us. Mediumship 102 course. Open your hearts, your light, your love to life. And I will see you guys on Supernatural Saturday tomorrow morning for the meditation, which I'm really excited about, how we integrate what we've brought through in these last 3 days. So much love, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day. Bye for now.